This is Olena. And I'm Isaac. And we are the Travel Bug Bite. Olena was born in Kiev, Ukraine, and raised in Prague, Czech Republic, where we met and got married. We spent 3 years exploring Europe from Prague, 2 years exploring Asia from Shanghai, that's Mount Everest, then 10 months frantically navigating New York City. Finally, we settled in my home state of Rhode Island with 2 doggos and 2 turtles. To follow our adventures of near and far, subscribe to the Travel Bug Bite today.
Hey everyone, what's up? We just got our box of Brewsy in the mail, and it allegedly can turn any juice into wine in 5 days. We got it for $34.99 with a Labor Day sale of I think 10%, so we got a couple of bucks off. But $34.99 for 3 different bags that turn 1.5 gallons of juice into wine is not that bad. So that means you can get 4.5 gallons of juice out of just this one box.
Wine, not
wine,
juice.
not juice. So we've got here a cranberry, a white grape juice, which will, I guess, hopefully make normal white wine almost, and an apple, orange, pineapple. Really interested to see what happens with that. Apparently it's just add sugar, so we'll see what happens. All right. Brewsy, easy peasy wine and cider making kit.
Dum dum dum.
Whoa. Want free stuff? Well, yeah. Pretty cool packaging. All paper. Doesn't seem to be much plastic. Alright, so let's get started. Apparently it's like super easy, so hopefully the instructions aren't crazy complicated. I've got a welcome letter. I've got, there's these labels that say when my name is, and we can name it, and then born on at a certain time. That's kind of cool. And, wow. Club Brewsy, here for you 24/7, lifetime access. Alright, how it works, blah blah blah. Here's just a bunch of stuff about it. I won't read it all. That's not the how-to yet. I'm looking for how to start doing it. So let's see. Looks like it comes with these caps that you put in apparently any kind of juice thing. We'll see if it works. They're airlocks. And it comes with these 3 bags. Each one can do 1.5 gallons. So if these are 2 quarts, 1/2 gallon. So I'll use 1/3 of a bag in each one. I think it's gonna fit.
Nope.
It will. Let's see.
It will?
I don't know. Comes with this awesome booklet. Lots and lots of information, all about as much as you want to learn about how the yeast works, the whole process. So there's an introduction about yeast and techniques and tips. So I'll read the rest later. I'm just trying to jump to exactly how to do it. It has like sugar tips, so if you want it bone dry, then you do it like this. I guess wines like Chablis, dry Champagne, and Sauvignon. There's dry, semi-sweet, sweet, and very sweet. So we'll see how, depending on how much sugar you put in it, I suppose. Inside your Brewsy bag. These magical bags contain a bit more than just some fantastic wine yeast. Each bag also contains a sparkle of a natural volcanic clay called bentonite. Blah, 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 blah. Add your airlock. Now it's time to add your airlock. Okay. So you're supposed to sweeten it first. Oh, okay. Step number 1. That would be a good place to start. Step 1. Pick out a recipe. Blueberry wine, apple cider, a simple red blend. Deciding what to make can be just as fun as drinking your wine or cider. When you're new to this hobby, we highly recommend beginning with one of our easy starter recipes from our online recipe book, which use store-bought juice. Any store-bought juice will work as long as it isn't reduced sugar and it doesn't contain potassium metabisulfite, which many white grape juices include. None of ours have that. So check the ingredients carefully. This preservative prevents our booze-making yeast from reproducing. Of course, you can certainly mix juices together, add fresh fruits, or even make your own juice from scratch, but note that citrus, pineapple, and mango juice alone don't make great wines. I guess you can combine a little bit, so our pineapple, orange, whatever, apple should work. It'll ferment safely into a boozy drink, as a rule of thumb, as long as it has sugar in it. Even sweet tea or fruit punch works very well. And then it goes on and explains a little bit about how each one of these makes 1.5 gallons. We're going to put 1/3 into each one. They recommend using 1.5 gallons, so buy 3 of the same one and dump it into 1.5 gallons, but we're not going to do that. Pick your sweetness. It turns out that white grapes are specifically bred to have a huge sugar concentration, at least twice as sweet as juice. So no matter how sweet or less sweet you want your boozy drink, we'll need to add at least some sugar to any juice we want to brew to give our yeast the fuel they need. Skipping the sugar adding step is not an option, and artificial sweeteners won't work either. Our yeast can only eat calorie adding sugars, and they prefer cane sugar. Perfect. For For the sugar adverse among us, please don't worry. The yeast will make alcohol out of almost any sugar we add. In the old days, figuring out exactly how much sugar to add used to require a tool called a hydrometer and some math. Team Brewsy ran thousands of tests with the Brewsy bag to create brand new formulas to allow you to skip that math and measurements. All you need to do is enter a few details about your juice and then pick how sweet you want your refreshed drink. Based on that information, we'll tell you how much sugar to give your yeast. Our interactive sweetness calculator is available online with every recipe. So it looks like we got to go online to figure this out. You can add honey in addition to your cane sugar for a sweeter taste, or you could try making mead, a wine made with only honey and water instead of grapes. Your Brewsy bag can make these too. Pay attention to the timing of our mead recipes because your yeast will need a little bit longer to eat through that thick, molecularly complex honey. Pick your brewing spot. Now that you've chosen a recipe, deciding how big of a batch you're going to make, and calculated how much cane sugar you need to feed your yeast, it's a good time to do some thinking about where you'll leave your brew. We recommend picking out in advance where you'll leave your drink for the days that it'll be brewing. You'll ideally want to pick a spot that you can access to swirl your juice a few times a day when you're home to help the yeast along, but it won't hurt if you aren't able. For the best taste, find a dark, temperature-stable spot to store your juice while the yeast gets busy. This little spot should be 74 to 76 degrees Fahrenheit. And it should be able to survive a little juice spill or two, just in case. L-I-L. And should have no fluctuations in temperature. Wrapping your juice container in a light blanket can help it stay warm in colder houses and can keep the light away from your yeasts too. The messier among us might want to throw a towel down where the juice will brew in case it gets a little bit too bubbly and leaks out of the airlock stopper. Now join Club Brewsy. Not sure what to make? Want some feedback? Great news, your Brewsy box comes with a free admission to the fun and welcoming Club Brewsy, the friendliest ever online winemaking community. We highly encourage you to join using this information on your ticket. We'll give you some cool exclusive coupons, send you super creative seasonal recipes, and we'll stay closely connected just in case you have any questions. Plus, we're building the largest ever online community of homebrewers and winemakers like you, where you can share tips, tricks, and the tastiest creations. Once you're in, you can text us anything, anytime. We'll always be there to help you, even your love life, even for your love life. And it's true, they've texted me like 3 times being like, did you get it? Do you need any help? And then step 2 is prep the juice. But I'm gonna go online right now and check out what we need for each of our juices. So on the sweetness calculator on their website, we chose 25% as sweet as the juice, semi-dry. And it says to make sure you keep it at 75 degrees or more. I don't know what happens if you say no, maybe there's a different process. But anyway, it says to pour out, let's start with the grape juice. It says to pour out 1.25 cups of juice. And I don't have a cup measure, so I'm gonna do it in weight. Hey Google, how much does 1.25 cups of water weigh? All right, about 300 grams. $50, $100, $200, $300, there we go. And 314, I think it'll be okay. So about that much juice is left. And then it says to use half a cup of sugar, which this one right here is 1/4 of a cup, so I just need to do 2 of these. And I don't have a funnel.
So this should be fun. Ha. Ha.
There's actually one over there.
Calories.
I don't know if the calories are gonna stay there from the sugar because the
I know.
stuff eats the calories, so you don't have to worry about actually consuming this much sugar. This sugar is not for you. This sugar is for the yeast. Now I'm gonna close it and shake. Don't know if that's necessary. Anyway, this the book has it's more like paragraph form and really detailed. But if you go online, there's a calculator and it tells you exactly how to do it. So the next step here, it says, using the volumes from the calculator, pour out some of the juice and add the cane sugar. Add the cap and shake it well. You are supposed to do that. It's okay if all the sugar doesn't entirely dissolve right away. Pour in your Brewsy packet, add your hello sticker to your juice, and make sure to write down the name and date and time. Okay? So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna weigh, because we're only using 1/3 of this, I'm actually gonna weigh it, and then I'm gonna use exactly 1/3.
Gently.
So it
What
weighs
does it look like?
It looks like yeast. And it weighs 11 grams exactly. Ooh, 11
It should be
divided by
12.
3. Yeah.
You spilled some.
Yeah, not that much. But 11 divided by 3 is 3.6. So, let's see how to do this precisely. 3.6.
Notes to people watching. Prepare before you do this.
Oh, but it's like all different stuff, so I'm worried that if we do it all separately, it's not going to work. Look, it looks different. Like some of it looks different.
No.
Stir it up.
Ah, it's on your finger.
All right, 3.6, yeah? It's 2, 3, 3.5, a little more for good measure, and we're good.
Measure.
And then we just drop it in, right?
Gently.
Or in your Brewsy packet, add the sticker. Yeah.
We'll name it something fun later.
Can do it?
No. Gently, gently.
We got it.
Gently.
All right.
Oh.
I don't know if it doesn't say we're supposed to shake it. So, add your hello and make sure to write down the date.
We'll do that after when we
Okay,
place
sure.
it somewhere.
Add the clear airlock and rubber stopper. Don't throw away the cap to the juice bottle. Remove the airlock's hole punched lid and add water to the fill line, then snap the lid back on. So we're gonna
Water.
Alright.
And the fill line is here.
Then snap the lid back on. Your yeast are now waking up to start eating sugar and producing alcohol and bubbles. Leave the container somewhere dark and warm for 3 days. If you can't find a dark and warm spot, wrap the whole thing except the airlock with a towel. Alright, let's add some water. A little bit above the fill line. I think it's okay, but maybe I'll just dump some out. Perfect.
I think you fill it first and then you put it in.
Put that in. Snap this back on. Did some go in?
Yes.
Is that supposed to happen?
I don't know.
All right. And then it says, after 3 days, your juice is done brewing and is boozy. Now we need to get it really cold so the yeast falls out. Remember the airlock? Remember the airlock and save for another brew. Remove the airlock and save for another brew. Move the juice container to your fridge. Either leave it uncapped or loosely set the original cap on the wine. After 48 hours, while the yeast and nutrients from your Brewsy bag are collecting at the bottom of the container, optional but encouraged, pour your wine or hard cider into a different container, leaving the sediment behind. Discard the sediment down the sink. Step 10, enjoy. Your wine or hard cider will get better with age because there are no preservatives or stabilizers. We recommend storing it in the fridge. Some sediment will continue to build up again, but only once more. So feel free to pour your wine off the sediment again after another 48 hours. So, this one's ready. What are we going to name it? The apple one.
Something really cheesy.
Grape, white grape. Grape. Wibbly wobbly grapey stuff. Wibbly wobbly grapey wapey stuff.
Sure. You spell it.
If you go to getbrewsy.com/airlock, it shows you how to put the airlock on.
Did we do it right?
So far, so good. Yes.
We did?
Yes, we did.
High five.
So I put the serving size into the calculator as 6 quarts, thinking like the calculation for all of this. So I used the amount of sugar you're supposed to use in all 3 of these, but luckily we did a not so sweet option. So it's more accurate for like a super sweet wine. So it's not semi. It's going to be about as much as like a dessert wine. 1.5 cups of sugar as a dessert wine. So it is actually even less than that. So it's all right. Well, that's all for today. We'll hope for the best, and we'll see you in a few days when we'll be showing you the rest of the process.